Welcome to Barcelona, the final destination of the 2024 GT4 Winter Series.
The McLaren likes the wet, so hopefully we can keep this position and keep going.
Yeah, quite wet. All the cars in front just quite strong in the rain, but I hope my teammate can manage overtaking them, because down in front on P1 is our main opponent for the championship.
Joel Mesh there referencing the elite McLaren. That's the battle for second in the title. As you can see, the conditions are bad, and the first 15 minutes of the race, near as makes no difference, held under safety car. But finally, we've got green flag racing. Finally, Zach Meekin leads them away as we go racing. Max Krumberg behind him. Then it's Ivan Ekelchik. Krumberg joining Max Knopp this weekend. Or Josef Knopp, I should say, this weekend. A very strong pairing in the WNS Motorsport Porsche Cayman. Some of the Cayman Trophy cars and the AM class entries intermingling there at the back of the order. These conditions certainly unsavoury. The drivers are going to have to work hard to keep the cars in the right direction. Daniel Drexel there in fourth place, just ahead of Marshevics. Behind him is Mikey Porter. Versetti Motorsport basically have this title sewn up. They just need a solid point score in this race. Drexel going defensive, going wide into turn 4, or turn 5. Marshevics there pushing Drexel out onto the curb. Oh, and Drexel loses it, trying to put the power down, trying to get the traction out of the corner on the wet curbs. And Drexel would maybe have been better served with the power of hindsight to back out of that one. The wet curbs are never your friend in these conditions, and Drexel has found out the hard way. That is surely going to be the end of he and Leo Pischler's weekend. The race back underway then with less than 5 minutes left on the clock. Max Krumberg looking to the outside of Zach Meekin, but Meekin has enough car ahead of him to lead into the first turn of the lap. You see there's some fighting further back. Luke Ibanez trying to find his way around Mikael Marquez. He is new to the GT4 Wind Series in the 84 CV Performance lineup. Ekelchik, of course, in a second Wimmer Wirth car as well. 2 Wimmer Wirth Motorsports entries this weekend, and Ekelchik wide there. So he's going to lose out several positions. Alberto Di Martin now welded to his rear. In fact, that is Luke Ibanez in the third of the NM Racing Team cars. Enrico Ferderer trying to find a way past Mikael Marquez as well. And it's NM Racing Team side by side. This is Hubert and Di Martin for the AM class lead. And Di Martin just with a nose ahead of Hubert. Difficult conditions then, not really much green flag running, but Zach Meekin has already built a big advantage, and now the checkered flag waits for him. Zach Meekin takes the win from Max Krumberg, and Marcel Marshevics will cross the line third, but most importantly, Mikey Porter crosses the line in fourth place. That's enough for Jamie Day and Mikey Porter to claim the overall championship in the 2024 GT4 Winter Series. A win, though, for Meekin and Leben, and he looks delighted with that result.
Race 1 winner of the GT4, Zach Meekin. That was a pretty interrupted race, but a good way to start the weekend.
It was, yeah. I was expecting the safety car to go on the second lap, so I prepared everything then. To my surprise, it stayed on. Managed to rip away at the beginning, got a good start. Then unfortunately, the incident happened, safety car, but then I managed to replicate the start again, get away, and comfortably there.
There you go, Zach Meekin on the top step then of the podium. A good result in Pro-Am then for Max Krumberg, second overall as well. The AM class honours going to Max Hubert and Enrico Ferderer dominating in Cayman Trophy. Race 2 of the weekend begins, and it begins in slightly greasy conditions. Almost dry, but not all the way there yet. And Zach Meakin seems to have found that out the hard way. He goes straight on. The 22 car of Renhofer into a spin further back as well. I think that was Jamie Day who helped him into a spin. But Tom Leben has thrown away the lead. I think just got onto the white line going into the first corner. And in the greasy conditions, that sent him straight on. That means that W&S Motorsports Josef Knopp leads the way. Some of the Mercedes drivers having a bit of contact there further back as well. CV Performance and NM Racing Team. Two of the flag bearers for the three-pointed star. The third team, of course, being Schnitzelhelm Racing. Schnitzelhelm's Joel Mesh all over the back of Josef Knopp. Mesh will be keen to score as many points as possible, especially with Elite Motorsport down the order. That's a golden opportunity for them to try and extend their hold on second in the title. Alex Connor with a puncture. He is struggling. Hopefully gets it back in one piece without the carcass flailing loose, but a torrid opening stanza of the second race for Alex Connor. Jamie Day is up in third place. Meanwhile, Alberto Di Martin trying to hold off the recovering Raphael Renhofer, but Renhofer was never going to take too long to find a way past Alberto in the AM class car. Josef Knopp, meanwhile, Pro-Am entry, of course, but he is the pro element of that lineup. And he is a driver that we've already seen win this year overall. However, Joel Mesh around the outside, very nicely executed, and he has the car all the way past before they get into the next braking zone. That is Mesh to the lead. And Jamie Day may not be far behind either. Josef Knopp now under pressure from Day, who is under investigation, I understand, for the collision with Raphael Renhofer at the start of the race. Look at Josef Knopp now having to defend every which way he can. The Cayman is perhaps the most narrow car on the grid, but he's making it very wide. Jamie Day, however, gets to the inside line, gets to second place there with a magnificent move. And now Josef Knopp is under pressure for the Pro-Am lead because Emil Erdrum is just behind him. And Max Huber also involved. He's the AM class leader running 5th overall. But Tom Leben wants to try and run interference as well. Of course, Leben trying to work his way back to the sharp end. Moves up to 5th place there on the inside of the AM class leader, Max Huber. Next up, the Pro-Am lead battle, and they're not going to give way to the Elite McLaren. Leben having to work very, very hard here. Climbing a mountain of his own making, but he's to the inside of Emil Erdrum. That's 4th position now for Leben, who seems to have the bit between his teeth here. The pace in that Elite McLaren is absolutely exceptional. And he gets himself to 3rd place there as Joel Mesh and Jamie Day keep fighting. Perhaps Meakin can clamber his way into the battle for the lead. Jamie Day dives to the inside there. He and Joel Mesh are having a great scrap as Leben now released by Josef Knopp. Day to the inside again at turn 8. And he manages to get it done. But I understand that Jamie does in fact have a penalty to serve. Emil Erdrum with the diffuser dislodged on the rear of that car. We've seen that several times this season. And Jamie Day does indeed have a drive-through penalty, so he's in the pit lane and will fall down the order. And Emil Erdrum goes for the Pro-Am lead and ends up spinning the 31 car. Well, that one might get looked at quite harshly. Nicholas Malloy trying to go wheel-to-wheel here with Dennis Boone, but Dennis Boone has the high ground in a battle further back in the order. Jamie Day now in a fight for 5th place overall with Josef Knopp. Josef Knopp, who may well end up being the Pro-Am class leader again, because I understand Emil Erdrum has got a drive-through penalty. That will likely be converted to a time penalty at the end of the race. But Jamie Day works his way back into the overall top 5. Meanwhile, Joel Mesh, as the clock hits 0, has Tom Leben all over the back of him. But with the clock hitting 0, that means this is the final lap. And I think Joel Mesh will breathe a sigh of relief. He just about holds on. But look at the pace and the poise of that elite McLaren. Surely that car is a favourite going into race number 3. Max Huber with a sensational overall podium as well as the AM Class win. But Joel Mesh scoring a few points over Elite Motorsport. That gives him the high ground in a big way in the battle for second in the championship. He will frankly just need to get a finish within the top 7 or 8 in order to take second in the championship.
What a drive. That was fantastic. Were you nervous on the last couple of laps?
Yes, definitely. That's exactly what I said going into the weekend. Already the McLaren last year at GT4 European Series with an insane pace, and so is he now. Yeah.
There you go, Joel Mesh taking the top step. You hear him there doing his homework. He knew that car was going to be quick, the Elite McLaren, based on results elsewhere. Josef Knopp taking the Pro-Am win after a penalty for Emil Yerdrum. Max Huber with a sensational overall podium. He claims the AM Class win as well ahead of Alberto Di Martine. What a race. Our final race of the season then, and it kicks off with Mikey Porter leading them down to the first corner. Porter leads from Raphael Renhofer. No, maybe not Renhofer, because Marcel Marcevic around the outside there moves himself up into second place. So it's Fossetti from Schnitzelam from Wimmerwerk. And then it is the Elite McLaren of Zach Meekin down to 4th place. Meekin had a front row starting position. He was our pole sitter. But Mikey Porter got the getaway. And now Zach Meekin has to work from further down as everybody else navigates their way through turn 4. Some great scrapping going on here. Expanded Pro-Am entries, expanded Pro-Class entries as well. Zach Meekin making short work of Raphael Renhofer for 3rd position. And all the way up there into, I think, 5th position is one of the Cayman Trophy cars. I think that might well be Tim Neuser's machine. In fact, it could be Mikael Sander. Yes, it's Mikael Sander who, of course, will hand over to Tim Neuser. Max Huber, after his podium earlier on, now running again at the sharp end of AM. Just ahead of him, I believe, is Luc Ibanez as the other NM Racing Team Mercedes there of Alberto Di Martine runs it wide. Bit of a rolling roadblock here by the looks of it. Max Huber. Mikael Sander has just been overtaken there by about 3 cars all at once as well. So Sander is losing out in the early going. The qualifying order slightly jumbled by the wet conditions that we qualified in on Saturday as well. So that maybe explains why the likes of Sander were up in the top half dozen at the beginning of the race, but he's now being dispatched. Charles Dawson gets through. Nicholas Malloy wants to try and follow suit. Max Kronberg to the inside of Max Huber for 6th position. Huber again fighting in the overall top half dozen. And with plenty of Pro-Am cars and even a Pro car between himself and Alberto Di Martine in second, that will help him. Huber, a bronze driver, yes, but a very proficient bronze driver, splitting his time across modern and historic racing. And Max Kronberg, another very fast bronze, so a good battle between the two of them. Kronberg is the AM element of that Pro-Am lineup. Meanwhile, Zach Meekin has closed in on Marcel Marcevic and makes the move for 2nd place. That looked pretty easy. Kronberg having it anything but easy as he tries to go around Max Huber. And gets it done there around the outside. Just about losing out is Max Huber. Ooh, a bit sideways there as well to the inside line. Defensive goes Huber now. As Nicholas Malloy tries to go around the outside. Of course, Malloy also in Pro-Am wants to try and follow Max Kronberg if he possibly can. CV Performance Mercedes is fighting further back. Charles Dawson and Mikael Marquez in the back of shot there. As Malloy looks like he's gotten Max Huber. As they go through turn 4, pit window open. Marcel Marjovics handing this one over to Joel Mesh. Again, Mesh just needs a solid finish in order to secure second in the championship over Elite Motorsport. Even if Elite win, they need a lot of misfortune for Joel Mesh in the second phase of the race. Tom Leben heads back out onto the circuit, and he will be the leader. But look who's right behind him, already having pitted. Jamie Day in Fassetti Motorsports number 19 is now through into the lead. So cold tyres, of course, on Tom Leben's car. No tyre change in the pit stop, but still the tyres will have lost temp. And now Tom Leben has to try and get past Jamie Day, and we know that is anything but simple. It's not often Jamie Day isn't the quickest driver out there, but Leben surely has the pace today to the inside at turn 3. Surely that's the move made. In fact, no. Jamie Day with the inside line coming out of 3. He managed to cut back there. And Day is having to defend for his life in that Fassetti Aston Martin. They've already won the title, but they want to try and win this last race as well. Emil Yerdrum there getting past Max Huber. Now Huber will be getting hunted down by Neil Montserrat, who's taken over the car from Alberto Di Martine. So he needs to not get too involved in this scrap, but that's getting too involved in the gravel. He just about keeps the car pointed in the right direction as the two CV Performance cars and Igor Kishin both get past. Huber now under pressure from Neil Montserrat. Meanwhile, here's our lead scrap. Jamie Day trying to find a way past Dennis Bourne in the 94 car. And look at this. Through goes Tom Leben, but he cut the course to do that. We saw he was all 4 wheels off track. And I just wonder if that's going to stand. Leben has gotten through, but the circumstances might not be favoured by the stewards. Neil Montserrat has gotten past Max Huber, so that's Montserrat up ahead. Between the two NM cars is Yegor Hishin, and Max Huber clearly running out of patience, dives to the inside of Yegor Hishin. But Yegor not getting him through under any circumstances. Tom Leben has allowed Jamie Day back through. He was under investigation for making up a position off track. And so rather than trying to fight it in the steward's room, they've allowed Jamie Day back through. Leben has to do it all again then. Around the outside at turn 1, converting it to the inside for turn 2. But across the curbs didn't carry the momentum that Jamie Day did through the corner. Day looks like he's really having to fight the car, and you can see the McLaren on the rear view screen that he's got in the cockpit. Out wide goes Max Huber as he continues to try and find a way past Yegor Hishin. Now Arne Hofmeister running second in Cayman Trophy goes past Huber. And now Yegor Hishin has to worry about him as well. And Hofmeister actually makes it quite simple. He gets past Yegor Hishin, and Max Huber will be sat behind going, well, why is it so easy for you? Final lap of the race. Jamie Day has been holding off Leben for the entire second half of this race. Just a couple of corners left to go. Just one, maybe 2 opportunities for Leben to try and get past. They come out of turn 12 once again. Turn 13 awaits. And both of them there take a very aggressive line through 13, but Leben's is slightly more aggressive. He gets the inside line for the final corner. He gets it done at the very last turn. Jamie Day loses out. And Tom Leben wins the final GT4 Winter Series race of the season in spectacular fashion after a half-hour-long battle. Leben, Meekin and Elite Motorsport have taken the win by 0.3 of a second. Ivan Ekelchik rounds out the podium after fighting with Joel Mesh, and Luke Ibanez rounds out the top 5. Incidentally, Joel Mesh will have taken second in the overall championship with that result. Great effort then from Elite Motorsport there. McLaren has looked quick all weekend.
Oh my God, that was the lap of your life, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd kind of lost hope of it because he started to pull a gap as the tyres fell away. But I thought I got one opportunity, so I might as well go for it, and it worked. So yeah, good to win in the end. Overtook him once, then give it back because it was a bit questionable. But yeah, good to come across the line first.
Yeah, nice way to end the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, like, it's the best place you can finish, so I can't really complain, to be honest.
There you go, Lebanon Meakin securing the final win of the season. Fassetti Motorsport, of course, our overall champions, the Pro-Am champions, Dawson and Yerdrum. They're second on that podium. Max Huber is your AM class champion, but it's Montserrat and Di Martin that win that race. And it is Sander and Neuser on the top step in the final race, and indeed in the Cayman Trophy Championship. Fassetti Motorsport getting the big trophy in the Teams Championship, in the overall championship as well. A great effort from Fassetti Motorsport, also for CV Performance. They're celebrating their Pro-Am win. The first season of GT4 Winter Series is complete, but we expect bigger and better things in 2025.